Her body like the wild, wild west. What if you done found out, yeah? Riding in the big God bless. She's all
Hello, happy St. Patrick's Day, and welcome to the Sunday Funday podcast, the official podcast for Wild Wild West Fantasy Baseball. I'm your host today, Alien Arms, Chilipet Cuneiforms, Milkman, creator of the Gallon Challenge, joined alongside our co-salesman on the Bubble Cup Blender Boys, Mr. Austin Harley Lose, and Lord Fat Meat himself. Fellas, how we doing?
Fantastic.
Great. Thanks for letting me join.
Amen. Glad to have you both here. Sound a little bit more excited next time. All right. Obviously, we're super excited for this episode number 10 of the Standing Series, where we go from worst to first to discuss the offseason and life outside the lines, leading up to our draft less than a week from today. Today's episode of the Standing Series is brought to you by White Owl Cigarillos.
They hate me over at White Owl, to be honest with you.
That
Happy
being
to
said,
be here, though, fellas. Happy to be here.
Amen, amen. That being said, let's go ahead and introduce today's guest, our 2023 regular season second place finisher, Mr. Graham Berry. How we doing, Graham?
Doing well. Very happy to be here. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. So we'll start things out how we usually do. Tell us how life's going for you outside of fantasy baseball.
Smooth. Nothing major to complain about. So, no news is good news on that kind of stuff. So, just working at good old Lexus of Louisville, and just trying to have a good time in between. So, yes, sir.
How's basketball going?
Solid. We had actually a men's league. We lost first round of the playoffs. That was embarrassing. And a lot of you guys here remember Tyree Young from Ballard High School. He was on that team. We lost to that team just to. Well, they also had Donald Davis. So it was a mixed vibe kind of team. But yeah, that's still how I'm getting all my exercise. Keep telling myself I'm gonna lift before I get out of my prime. But clock's ticking. So we'll see.
Awesome.
I knew him as Tyree Porter.
Tyree Porter.
I think he had two last names, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Cool. We'll swing it.
Fact check.
Go ahead and swing it on over to Austin. I think he'll go ahead and kick us off here.
All right, Graham, I got a question for you. We are less than a week away from the draft, and it seems that you are still trading picks. Is it because you are slightly worried about your picks, or is there no particular reason behind the madness?
It's in between no particular reason and just a little bit of tinkering. I love my picks. It's just I feel like I just filled a little bit of gap. The trade with Nikki was a little bit more of a strategy move. Just not trying to get feeling like I have to take a guy there that I didn't really need that position. So I did a little bit of that early. But I also filled some gaps with that Henry trade last night. So just tinkering. I haven't made a major trade in a while. So overall, I'm very happy with the picks.
I like your picks.
I'll have a lot of guys.
With Henry?
Yeah, I made a small trade with Henry. I went back from 86 to 87, moved up from like 136 to 127.
The 86 87 made no sense to me.
Yeah, and I didn't mind doing that. I know Nicky, I gave him a really hard time about not wanting the pick right in front of him. But in years past, when me and Nicky's rankings, they're kind of we're kind of on some same batters sometimes, and I just have confidence that Henry's going to take a guy that I wouldn't take, so I have no problem with him being one pick in front of me. And then there was just some small movement on three other picks going all.
So
the way
that was Henry's decision.
Yeah. He started. Henry's been offering me a trade like every day for like a week, and he said he had the itch, so we made it happen.
Yep, Henry did mention. I don't know if you did see Henry's podcast, but he said that you were the most reasonable to trade with.
I'm actually 7 minutes in. Got back from basketball, watched 7 minutes of it.
Spoiler.
Ate some canes, and then now we're here. So I'll finish that up after we get off here tonight.
You'll love to. You'll love to hear it.
Okay, good deal. Good deal.
Tinkering. That's a good word. I like it. So, Graham, we got some interesting perspectives on previous podcasts about the situation with you and Carlin. I would just like to hear a little bit more of that from your perspective, considering you were involved, you were the recipient of a gift and kind of almost threw it away, if you will.
Did not throw it away.
You had the chance to maybe do something magical.
I kept a lot. Could have let Chris maybe walk. I think that from my perspective, I'm going to focus on the positive, of course. But the fact is he paid what was it, $900 the very next day. So I mean that's just overall good for the league. I still raped him, no matter how you look at it. After the 2 trades, I still got all the highest picks. I mean, he just accidentally slipped 86 in a 4-pick trade, and I was already moving up on the first 2. So I had a lot. I mean, yeah, I just I think everybody won. Yeah, I could have won more, but yeah, I won. So we're good.
Got a small follow-up, completely different type of question. Someone consider you one of the streakier managers in the league. You've had some good regular season finishes and some really bad ones as well. Just want to kind of hear your mindset coming off a great year, pretty good year, I guess. Great maybe is a little bit of a stretch considering there wasn't much playoff success, but going into 2024.
My only 2 finishes below, like, I had 1 finish below 9 that was a full year, and then the COVID year I finished like 10th. But outside of that, I only had 1 finish. I've missed the playoff. I missed the playoffs in a tough fashion a couple times. But yeah, overall, I can see the streaky. I think I'm definitely regular season because of those 2 close playoff misses early in my fantasy baseball career. I like to get those regular season wins, and a lot of times that drains me for the playoffs. So got to try to find the proper balance in getting those regular season wins, and then maybe trying to stash a little bit. But you do see a lot of stashing when it goes bad and costs some wins. And I'll go back to not to hate on this owner. He gets picked on a lot, but Brock had a very good roster. I think it's been pointed out a couple times. He says he didn't have those guys all year, but before that, I mean, he traded them for other really good guys as well. So, I mean, he had 7 or 8 studs on his roster the whole year. I think he stashed Strand for a long time. I think he held some injuries for a while. I mean, I think I do the week to week a lot, and it just doesn't always end up good in the long run. So we'll see see if I can adjust to that a little bit. That's my management perspective going in.
You're definitely not afraid to make any and every Sunday trade.
Yeah, no, I'm there. I want the W column because I mean, literally, I remember 2 years where it's been like 1 win and I'm in. So not aggressive enough. You can be a little more aggressive always. So I do try to stay active. Last year I was very lucky. I was in position on Sunday a lot to benefit a lot last year. So hopefully that trend sticks.
I think you got me a couple times.
I had some choices a couple times too. I chose you. You're lucky man.
I did start off 0-4, I believe. So
love a panic Nicky. Love to see a panic Nicky in fantasy.
All right, so yeah, I guess that leaves it to me. Graham, this is kind of like a question that you might not want to reveal the answer to, but we'd still love to hear your take on this.
Okay.
We know Devers is a lock at 15. Where's your head at when it comes to your 16th selection?
I've been very open. With the whole league. I'm either going big bat or I'm going Strider. Strider's been tempting me the past few weeks. Not supposed to pay attention to spring training, historically, but I mean the guy just looks ready, and I mean all the other pitchers kind of suck. So might go Strider. Already starting out with Abrams, so I got my steals. I might just want to go 2 big bats. It's a great choice to have, in my opinion. I've traded away the 17 because I wasn't overwhelmed by that pick. Got back to 22. Then slowly got less impressed with that 23, so I just pushed that back a little bit. But I really like the guys that I think will be at my early picks right now.
Awesome.
Probably Strider.
Probably Strider. You heard it here live.
He's got a curveball now.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I've seen every strikeout this spring because it's just been it's been moving.
He's been going crazy already.
All right, I believe we can go ahead and flip it over to Nick with the Sneeches question.
Alrighty.
Fuck the Sneeches, by the way.
Graham, your name has been mentioned as an up-and-coming Sneech candidate pending the results of this season. What do you think you need to do to earn Sneech status, and what would it mean for you to earn an invitation to the most exclusive group in the world? I mean, Wild Wild West.
I think a lot of people forget that I was a Sneech for 2 years, right? The first 2 years. Founding member. I was the one that made the fucking first reference to that dumbass Dr. Seuss book. So I do know what it's like to be a Sneech. Alan loves to hate on it. There was a lot of talk, I think, 1 or 2 podcasts ago about how every non-Sneech hates on it. I've never said a bad thing about him. I was a Sneech. I appreciated being a Sneech. I understood why I wasn't a Sneech after that. And I've been on the road back to it ever since. To answer your question, I think that another Final Four would be playoffs would be, we'll see how everybody else does. That'd be kind of a stretch to make it me a Sneeze just by making the playoffs. But I think another Final Four kind of would definitely give my resume above a lot of league members. I think it was mentioned in another podcast. I'm one of the 5 winningest total wins in the past since we've been tracking. So, resume is already not looking too tough. And I also did leave, not get kicked, leave before I got kicked, that thing. Yeah, counts.
All right. Well, we'll go to a top 3, bottom 3 question for you here.
Okay.
You decided to give Carlin a break on his fuck up, as we all know. I want you to think of the top 3 and bottom 3 in the league that would have done the same thing as you, and I guess the bottom 3 that would absolutely have just said fuck Carlin.
Well, I think Nicky's definitely made himself clear that he would not send it back under any circumstance. We know, obviously, we all just automatically know that Colton's not sending anything back that would get accepted. So those 2 just automatic. Another one that's not sending anything back. I go Michael Coates,
Communist.
Yeah, those communists, they try to say they share everything, but the ones at the top, you got to watch those. That's Coates. Everybody knows that's how Michael Coates acts too, in real life. So that's my bottom 3. I was also going to say probably Henry, just because I did ask his personal opinion on what he would do. He said no. So yeah, I mean, the top 3 that I think might give me a little break back. I do believe the idiot. I believe that Carlin probably would have given me. I do. I'm sorry. I know that hurts Nicky's soul. I do get that. I think the next. I'm not saying this guy would do it. I think my next best chance would probably be Dawson. Just nice guy vibes. Maybe Chuck. I mean, next best chance. I don't think he would either. Probably not. But I'd beg. Fuck it. We'll see what he's got to say. Wouldn't try with most others.
Okay.
That 3.
All right, rapid fire real quick. Last second on the clock. Who's taking the shot to win the game in basketball, not including yourself?
I'll go you on that. We've done that before, actually. Mid-America.
Yeah.
I've tossed you a dime time game winner. I like getting you at your
Sorry,
spot.
that's good. Okay, top 3.
Top 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in there. I'm putting Nicky in there too. Not that he's a good or skilled. No, it's about trust at that point. It's about clutch shots are different than normal shots, and if he's in a spot, if he's in where he needs to get something done, I think he's going to put it down. So Nicky's definitely going to be the second guy I probably go to, and then third Dawson. So I'll go Austin, Nicky, Dawson. I've just played less basketball with Dawson. I've got great chemistry with you two guys. Play with Austin once a week. Played with Nicky 100 times when we were teenagers. So yeah, Dawson third, just off of skill there.
Hey, I set that game-winning screen for Austin that you made the dime to.
Hell yeah. It was a great play.
Nicky was there, wasn't it?
I set that game-winning screen.
The decoy screen to free somebody up, they all went to him. Austin flared back to the corner. Boom. Easy.
Forgot
Nicky plugged up the middle like fucking Aaron Donald.
Can I clarify one thing on the Graham Carlin trade, top three, bottom three?
Oh, fuck. I mean, you're probably the last person I'd want to hear clarify something on that, but let's go for it.
That was strictly based off the personnel of who was receiving the gift back. I would maybe consider it for like one of you all.
Okay.
Carlin, I wouldn't consider it for.
I mean, obviously, I feel like if I whine to you the way that Carlin whined to me, I think you would help me just because you'd be like, oh my God, Graham's mental's broken. There's something actually going on with this guy. Because Carlin, I mean, he was like, oh my God, like I haven't seen somebody act like that in a while. That was interesting for him to whine like that. But yeah, I definitely get that it goes person to person on something like that, which is why we have those rules, which is exactly why we fucking have those rules. But yeah, I get you.
Yeah, not to mention he even came back with a little bit of lip with everybody.
Shit immediately. Now he did when he was texting me. He was very fucking, beggy. But then in the group message, he goes to be Chris Carlin, as we all know him. So. As expected. Nothing to note there.
Like Carlin, Chuck, Coates. No, they're not getting anything back from me. Like I could deal with maybe kind of what you did for Carlin to one of you all.
Yeah, just like a little, hush money,
Yeah.
Carlin kept texting me. It was just like, I'm gonna leave the league if it doesn't blah blah blah. And I'm like,
oh,
bro,
dude,
we have replacements. He didn't think we could find a replacement.
He started playing a huge victim card. Like, I spend way too much time doing this anyway. I don't really need to be, I don't really need to do this. I'm just gonna leave the league. And I'm like, dude, there's people that would love to take your spot, but like. I mean, he owed that money, and I think Chris is fine for the league. It sickens me to this day that we fucking let him win. I mean, it's our fault that we have to fucking hear it. We did let him win a fucking championship in this difficult ass league, which doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, we do have to all hear that shit. But yeah, he's. I still stand by that situation. It was fine.
It was nice of you.
Graham, I got a question that just popped in my head here.
I love those.
We've got, I do it all the time. I don't know why. We've got our teams locked in for our basketball matchup. If you had the option to, would you trade any of your current team members for an opposing member?
As of now, I'm gonna say no. Now there was a time right after the draft. Where I might have traded an Allen Worms for an Austin Hardley, but after your gorgeous showing that other Friday night, I'm like, dude, you might be first pick off the board over anybody. I'm about to throw you an oop. So no, I love my team. Henry, Nicky, Colton. Those guys can always have a spot on my team no matter what. Don't care what we're doing. We're locked in. We're fine. So yeah, that last spot was definitely sure I would have moved it at first, but now I'm excited to see what the Alien Arms can do alongside the Screen Masters and the defensive dogs that we got on our squad.
Absolutely. I was not baiting that. I was actually very surprising. I did not expect that. But I appreciate that. I'm hooping my life away. I'm hooping my life away, honestly.
We might have to run a 1-4 zone with 4 of us down low because none of y'all can shoot except for Graham.
No, Nicky's gonna hit. If we make
We're
him
gonna
take
leave
some
Nicky
shots,
open the entire game.
He'll hit a couple.
I'll hit a couple. Give me free throw line extended.
Colton apparently has been hooping with the Kroger League. He might surprise us with a couple. Henry, I tell Henry the same thing every time we hoop. I say jump towards the basket. He loves to get a rebound 2 feet in, dive out, make it a 7-foot shot that he never makes. So I tell him every time if he jumps at the rim, he's a very he's fucking Zach Randolph on that court. So I know he wants to be Magic Johnson, but I like the low game from him. So I think our team's in actually a really good spot. I think our team is.
I agree. We're definitely going to win.
Agreed.
All
And
comes down to Chuck.
Chuck's the wild card. I'm ready to see him out there, and he's coming in with that chip on his shoulder. Chuck's been getting disrespected all fucking offseason. It's been dude's kind of a trooper, to be honest with you. He's been hearing it.
Chuck's solid. I think I might be the only one that's seen him hoop. He's an asset. So
good to hear.
It's gonna be fun.
It is.
And I just had a question actually pop into my head to steal from Orm's lingo. Let's rewind a few years in the league. You and Dawson split the regular season. I didn't really like that. I know some other members didn't really like that. I just kind of want to hear a little bit more about what it went into that kind of decision. And
I'll explain myself every time on that one. And we're in Cincinnati, and it was Saturday, and I was down in the dumps on my matchup. And if I would have lost that matchup, Dawson would have already jumped me, and he had the tiebreaker. So finished up the weekend. I was still very happy about it going into Sunday. It was Miracle Sunday. It was amazing, and I'll never fucking forget it. It was Ian Kinsler hit a banger on the Sunday night game that put me above, and I beat Connor in a matchup, and that's what pretty much solidified me to get first. But at the time I made the deal, my team had kind of been losing games, and Dawson had kind of been surging, and I was already, dude, if you would have looked at the matchup percentage, it would have been like fucking 87-13 on ESPN if it was like a fantasy football like they do on there. So it was really a miracle Sunday. Ian Kinsler finished it off for me, and then it was a bad deal, and then it was a bad deal forever. But I get what you're saying. It was a bad deal from the start, but I was just trying to hedge, which I usually don't do. So I don't know.
The man that doesn't hedge.
Yeah. No, it was different. I was just so sure I was going to lose to Connor, and like I said, I think I had lost like the last either the last matchup or the last 2 out of 3. So I was trying to get a way up.
Would you do it again if you were in the same situation in the future?
It's easy to say now.
It's easy to say no. If I'm in that situation where I'm telling you, I'm thinking it's 87-13, I'm going to lose, I'm probably going to do it.
I said it's easy to say now.
Oh, easy to say now.
I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about if it happens in the future.
That's what I'm saying. If it happens again and it's the same situation and it looks that bad for me and I feel that down on the dumps on my team like that, I'm probably going to take the bread that I think is there if I'm sure. Because I was sure. And then it didn't happen, just like a bet that you're sure about that it just doesn't go through for you. Yeah. Didn't believe in the guys in the stretch right there, and then my team did lose first round playoffs that year. So
maybe they were pissed off at you.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate your perspective. I personally don't love it, but I understand. You make a good case for it.
It wasn't like I was in good position going into the final week. It was ugly after that matchup.
Right.
All right. Well, rounding third and heading home, Graham, let's hear some bold predictions from you for this year.
So Nikki touched on it a bit. My bold prediction for 2025 is that I will be a Sneech. I'm going to have a good year. I'm going to get to the playoffs. I think I'm going to make a run. I've been, a streaky manager. I think that I'm a good manager, and I think that I've drafted terribly in the past. I think I've done good with what I've gotten myself to start with. Last year I had a terrible. I mean, I drafted like Tommy Edman and Tim Anderson were my third and fourth draft picks. And so, I mean, I do think that I'm just going to draft better and play better this year. Everybody says that, but yeah, I'm going to have a good year myself. As far as who's going to have a bad year, I did want to say Michael Coates so bad, but looking at his draft picks, I mean, he's going to sting some shit. He's going to have a lot of good players. So I think Henry's going to miss the playoffs this year. I think we're going to see one perennial playoff member out. And I think it might be Henry. I was looking at Henry's picks, and I was texting him about it last night. I kind of hate him. I'm not going to lie to you. He's going to be top heavy, and I think we usually see a depth Henry team. And like he says, he knows ball. He's going to get some sleepers in there, but I think that with the 22 starters, I think he's got like 10 top reasonable picks. So it's gonna look ugly if some guys don't pan out, but it could always be like Connor last year and hit on every fucking one. I was looking at his draft yesterday, and from like 140 to like 220, he was just getting all rosterable players. So I mean, things can be done. Things can definitely be done. I just need to draft better myself. But yeah, I think Henry's gonna be out. They have one bad year. Or, maybe fucking Coach does figure out a way to fumble it. I do want to see it personally. But yeah, those are my main thoughts towards bold predictions.
Well, it seems like everyone's come on here and pretty much predicted the playoffs, so we might as well just let you go ahead and do that too.
The playoffs? Okay. All right, I'm gonna say me, Coach. I think we see Nicky Nonos come back in the playoffs. I don't think it's like a sure thing. I think he squeaks in there. Well, it might be easier for me to say who's going to miss the playoffs. I think Chuck, Carlin, Colton.
Henry.
And I mean, it's going to be a tough fight, I think, between Austin, Brock, and Connor. I know Connor always makes the playoffs, but I mean, maybe he's the perennial guy that misses it this year. Who knows? I'll throw Connor in that last spot maybe for now and push out Brock. Maybe maybe he gets 8th place and doesn't all the way bounce back. Like, I know he was predicted to bounce back by a couple guys, but maybe we see a skid like Allen showed us that couple years. See how much he cares after this last place punishment. So, yeah.
So does that leave me in the playoffs?
By default, yeah, I think it did. I think I named 5 that were out.
Love to hear it.
Hey, in is in, baby.
I just thought of a rapid fire hypothetical.
Excellent.
We'll say theoretical.
Okay.
Kentucky Wildcats play at 8:30 on Saturday. How do you feel?
I'll be fine. I just, last year I drank early at Drake's and then kept drinking at Bachfest. So I think I was just a little cranky by the end of it. I didn't get my nap. So I'm just going to do better this year. I mean, it's a random weeknight and I stay up till 3 a.m. sometimes. And it's just, I just gotta know what I'm up against. So just to stay focused and stay excited. So just do a little bit less day drinking if the Cats play at 8:30.
5 o'clock game would be like perfect.
And I want to cheer for the Cats. I hope they don't play during the draft because I will cheer for them to lose, so it throws you guys off your game because I think it will affect you mentally if the Cats do lose. I don't know.
100%.
Yeah, but I do for just basketball purposes. I would like to see that group of guys advance in the tournament. It's a fun game right there.
Alrighty, Graham. We've already heard you say that you were making the playoffs. Would you like to hold yourself accountable?
I did think about that, and I am going to be holding myself accountable this year. So I did think of something, and if I don't make the playoffs, I will take every playoff member to a group steak dinner at Malone's, excluding Chris Carlin. So if Chris Carlin makes the playoffs, I don't. I'll be taking the top 6 members outside of him because as we've already discussed, he got his gift for the year regardless.
There we go.
So yeah, that's how I'll be holding myself accountable. It's not like you're going to be able to spend 300 out there yourself. It'll probably be 120 limit for yourself out there. But we'll just have a playoff member dinner if I'm out.
Wow,
I love that.
Yeah, I love steak.
But I'll be in the playoffs, so we'll see what happens.
Right. Everyone sounds so good, but a lot of those teams will be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
You're right.
we're gonna have some fun. Something fun's gonna happen at the end of the year because of all the accountability. So that's good news.
Yep.
All right, well, it's about that time. Final words, curtain call for you, Graham. If you got anything else to say?
I think we've killed it. I think we've hit on everything I wanted to talk. I did get a little extra hate. Actually, that's been covered. It's been said that you have to kick somebody out. I think I'm an easy person to bounce out for non-playoff members trying to jump in, or for people trying to switch up something in projections. It's pretty easy to put me down. Like I said, the perennial guys that have never missed before. So yeah, no, I don't have any other gripes. I'm good.
Cool. Nick, Austin, anything else?
Oh, glad to talk to y'all.
Yep.
Amen. All right, well, that's that. Episode 10
All right,
wrapped
boys.
up.
Y'all are doing the Lord's work out there. Keep it up.
Amen. God bless.
Looking forward to this weekend.
Absolutely.
All right, see you guys.